Hi, Shirish. It's great pleasure to have you here, and we were very excited to learn more about eBliss recently. Investors were really excited about all of the updates that you had to share. Can you please tell us a bit more information about yourself, your background, and how did you come up with such an amazing idea for the company?
Lisa, it's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me. If I look back at my journey, it's essentially been based on three pillars of my values, which is excellence, experimentation, and empathy. I've been fortunate enough to go to some of the best colleges, including Stanford and Harvard. But what essentially those colleges really provided was a platform for me to engage in um, a lot of experimentation through the different roles that I've had at multiple venture capital and private equity backed companies in investment banking, and also my current entrepreneurial venture. And all that was coupled with building the right kind of relationships, which essentially led to my enhanced understanding of empathy, which is all very important in terms of creating the right kind of impact. So the way I see myself is a combination of being an entrepreneur, um, being a mentor, and a musician as well. And that has sort of been very helpful in terms of engaging in a wide variety of activities, even outside of my entrepreneurial ventures, including mentoring at Harvard or even going through a lot of my music shows. In terms of eBliss, in the course of my experiences, I did realize that there is a very dramatic and structural shift happening in the market at this point of time. Uh, for we have seen significant growth in the number of computing devices around us, which includes laptops, cell phones, tablets, etc., or different kinds of devices in manufacturing environments or retail environments. And all that has increased the complexity significantly within large scale enterprises and their IT systems. But at the same time, the support has been highly manually intensive and supported by a whole array of tools that are essentially very reactive. So, A, there is a lot of focus on human effort. B, where you do have some automations, they're sort of more script based and legacy and old school. And those automations don't really work effectively when the nature of issues keeps on changing as such. And then we're surrounded by a whole bunch of noisy dashboards and analytics. So, what we essentially need is to move away from automation to autonomy, which can automatically figure out when the problem is going to happen, come up with intelligent solutions, and solve those problems essentially. Number two, we have to move away from effort to essentially focusing on outcomes. And number three, we have to move away from noisy dashboards and analytics to making AI actually invisible and work in the background so that humans can focus more on higher productivity and experience the bliss that they ought to have. And that is essentially what eBliss stands for. So eBliss has essentially been the consequence of my journey, my experiences, and what I believe is dramatic shift happening in the market at this place. And we are very well positioned to actually deliver value given the transformational shift happening right now.
Thank you very much, Shirish. It's very impressive, and your background and your knowledge of the space. What would you say are the major milestones that you have already achieved with eBliss AI that your current investors and yourself are the most excited about?
Well, I would put those under three categories. First of all, we are building a platform which is truly intelligent, which autonomously can resolve end to end different kinds of issues, and that is essentially a category defining platform. And that itself is the first milestone, which is dramatically thinking about a new category and positioning ourselves as a leader in that evolving category. Number two, we've been very fortunate enough to get very strong traction from many of our large enterprise customers and partners, which is a true testament and validation of our journey and our ability to create true enterprise value. And three, I would really say perhaps the most important is the significant mindset shift that we have been able to enable, where humans have been transitioning from doing the work to actually managing the intelligence or the AI that can do the work for them and hence enable the right kind of outcomes.
Wonderful. And I also heard throughout the session, testimonials from your existing investors and how they were able to recognize this amazing opportunity earlier and how they're excited for all of the achievements that you're currently making. And they're encouraging everybody else to join while there is still an opportunity. So, what can you share from your standpoint? Why do you advise to investors to invest right now as opposed to later on?
As we have discussed, there is a structural and dramatic shift happening in the market. And as we have seen specifically over the last few months, there's been a dramatic decline in the stock prices of a lot of the legacy software vendors, essentially. And the market is essentially signaling to perhaps something that is more deeply rooted in terms of the transformation happening, where we are moving away from legacy, script based, static systems of record to a new state where the records are going to be essentially more dynamic, intelligent, and execution oriented. And that requires changes along three dimensions. It requires a fundamentally different architecture for us to make that kind of a transformation. Number two, it's a fundamentally different mindset as well, where people need to reorient themselves in terms of not just doing the work, but thinking about how work gets done and how outcomes are achieved. And number three, it is a dramatically different business model as well, where we are moving away from just seed-based pricing to a pricing structure which is predominantly based on how much value is being created. And there are very few companies that are poised to lead that kind of a transformation, and we really believe that eBliss is at this forefront. So a combination of the market shift from an equity market standpoint. Number two is the need that larger enterprise have in terms of managing the internal complexity and how autonomous solutions can really add value to them at this point of time. And number three is the amazing journey that we have had, where we have shown the strong traction and hence the belief that larger enterprises and partners have in our platform. It's a combination of all these three that makes it the right timing for investors to think about platforms like eBliss, which will deliver true sustained value in a very dramatic fashion going forward.
Thank you very much, Shirish. And how has been your fundraising journey with the G.I.L.C? Can you share firsthand experience?
Well, again, I would step back and say it's really around three dimensions, right? The way I view GILC and it's been a true partnership is along three dimensions. Firstly, they're a true thought partner where the team has actually engaged with us in terms of thinking through what should be the right kind of outcome, then engaging in the process of experimentation and helping us to actually go through the decisions so that we can embark on a path which is not what we think is the easiest and the most efficient within the short term, but it also well aligned with what the long-term interests of the company are. So I think the engagement has been truly more of a partnership and a thought leadership oriented experimentation as opposed to more reactive.
Wonderful. And what's the one thing that you could say to another founder of an amazing company that is, thinking about joining the program? What would you advise them?
I would strongly encourage them to seek out true partners who can help them through this fundraising journey, which, as we discussed, involves thinking, acting, and deciding. And so essentially, there are very few partners out there, and I truly believe that G.I.L.C is one of them, that can really engage with you at a very deeper level in terms of helping the founders through this journey of intelligent experimentation to arrive at the right kind of decisions, which will favor the right kind of outcomes for the company long term.
Thank you very much, Shirish, for your kind words and generally for giving us the update on eBlissAI. I'm sure all of the investors who were not able to join the session would appreciate your brief overview of the opportunity, and looking forward to seeing you at the upcoming events as well.
Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm looking forward to them as well.